If I have time at the end of the stream, Foxy, I'll look at Buzzsaw and you can feed us the juice. Spooky hat cannot be enhanced, no. Okay, Jade's a weird one where I kind of feel like Jade's best abilities have already been used. I can see them doing these, however. It would be... Now, this is going to kind of be a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, because if I'm going by moves that haven't been used yet, it's got to be either Delia's Dance or Divine Forces. Losing Delia's Dance sucks because you lose the corner combos, and Divine Forces you lose the glow. And I never, under any circumstances, see the losing the glow being something you can really go with. However, I feel okay. No, this is a way I can see her playing. This is a way I can see her playing for sure. And then Scarlet. Oh, so the Scarlet I would want to see, or the Scarlet I think would be really interesting, is just full buffs. So Red Rain, Red Mist, and Crimson Shield. I really think this could be a super interesting form of Scarlet. Where the only moves she gets additionally are like buffs. You know, buffs and auras and stuff like that. I think could be really cool. Have a boiling point, no restand. She has restands in the other variations. It's not just talking about I'm not just talking about what moves could work out. I'm talking about play styles, right? It would be this or Blood Clot. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It will either be this or Blood Clot, because Blood Clot is really cool. Red Mist is restand, but it's not the move's primary. It's not the move's primary use, right? It's not kind of the point of it. Yeah, boiling point is huge damage, but again, I'm talking like variations that I would personally think could be really interesting, and this variation of Scarlet is that for me in my eyes, because I feel like you have this very slow, and I'll say this when we've loaded in. I'll say this when we loaded in when we get up to her. Otherwise, I'll repeat myself. Derricus, if you call me that again, I'm taking away your mod and banning you for life, mate. Okay, so let's talk Jade and Scarlet. Jade, I feel like is in a weird spot where I actually feel like her best variations have already been made. Looking at the moves that she can have, I honestly feel like Jaded and Emerald Defender are kind of the best it's going to get for her. With that in mind, though, there are still some other moves that haven't been used yet that I think, you know, can work. The question is whether they work as well as the others and kind of fill any gap in her kind of general gameplay. This variation gets Vanishing Winds, which is this. It's a teleport. It's a full screen kind of low. It's a low point blank, but if you amplify it, it is a teleport. So it's a teleporting low you can use to side switch, to beat projectiles and stuff like that. The main point of this variation for me is actually this. So Delia's Dance is back 4-2. This replaces her Flurry. So this replaces her like Staff Spin, which loses her corner combo potential. But it is a low. This does mean that you do get access to this. You know, I believe this is plus as well. So let me just quickly turn on the frame data just so I know. This is +8 on hit. So you will, on hit, you will be able to jail continued offense. On block, is it safe? Let me just remember. Auto. It isn't. So it's unsafe on block, but it is a low. So it is going to give you elements of mix-ups anywhere there is an overhead. And in conjunction with the extended strings, which, you know, that's -5, so it gives you mid option. Haven't used this string in a long time. Will give you... Okay, that actually doesn't work. So extended strings will give you access to, you know, ability to hit confirm for 200 damage into the Nitro Kick. Back 2 into Delia's Dance wouldn't be terrible. You know, that's meterless 150 into +8. +8 in range for your standing one to jail. But again, it's about amplify. I think it just knocks down. Yeah, it knocks down. And you can't combo from it either. It doesn't recover. The EX version is safe. Oh, Helter Skelter! Holy shit. How's it going, dude? That's a long time no see right there. Okay, so you can amp it to be safe as well. So it does give you a safe special to throw on the end of anything. So you can do like, if she blocks this, the ability to just throw that after anything. So good chip damage. Anywhere that there will be a flawless blockable gap, again, you can kind of just plug that special. You can make it safe. You can do good chip damage. And again, with these kind of strings, I mean, look at that chip damage right there. Look at that chip damage. That's all guaranteed. The second they block back 2, that is all guaranteed right there. You can jump out of that. Oh, no, they can jump out the second hit. But if you do... Oh, what's the string I'm thinking of? I think that's the one. I think there's a gap there, but the general gist of it is... The general gist of it is tons of chip damage. But chip damage and safety in a trade-off of losing, you know, the launching corner combos that you normally get from the staff spin. Vanishing Winds would give you the full screen game of just like getting past a projectile. Not that Jade would really need it, because the glow by itself would do a really good job of that by itself anyway. You get elements of that too. That's safe as well. So if they do block it anyway, you're okay. And it is a low. So again, you know, in conjunction with Delia's Dance, you'll be able to throw this on the end of anything. That's safe normally. So if you want a bit more chip damage, you can go for Vanishing Winds, or you could go for Delia's Dance for safety and more chip. The question is, do you want, you know, Vanishing Winds on hit is actually plus 16. So this is generally a good variation for like keeping them standing, keeping advantage, keeping it going, and on block still being safe, right? This is a very kind of like dial it in variation where no matter what you do, you're pretty much going to be safe most of the time. Helter Skelter with a gifted sub thanks to Silent Storm. Helter Skelter is actually one of the PND originals. You know, he's not PND by name, but he was one of the guys that used to play MK9 with us. Actually, he was one of the guys that organized it back in London. So pay your respects to Helter Skelter if you appreciate anything the UK scene has nowadays. He was one of the original builders back in 2011. Pretty much, Leaf, yeah. This variation is always in that ass and always safe for the most part. And you get the extended strings for just damage across the board, really. And I would like to see it. I really want to see a variation get the extended strings, because they are cool. And you can really confirm them well. I'd like to see the combo potential you get as well. I wonder if Delia's Dance is a restand. I want to quickly double check. I don't know if it is. I don't think it is. No, it's not. Didn't think so. Yeah, that's fine. I wonder if you can... That recovers pretty fast. I wonder if I can do it. I'm just, before I move on, I'm just going to test this. Just before. Nah, probably not. Nah, probably not. Probably not. If anything's there, I'm not going to see it. So this could be a cool one for Jade to see, just to always be pressuring, always be plus on hit, and on block always be safe, or do tons of chip damage. I think that'd really help her out, especially with how much these extended strings can keep people on the ground too. Now, this Scarlet variation, again, you know, this is an example of, remember, we're talking not just moves, we're not just talking moves that haven't been used in a variation. We're talking of, you know, we're talking play styles that aren't fulfilled. And I feel like this variation of Scarlet would be a real good example of that. So this variation I've given Red Rain, Crimson Shield, and Red Mist. Red Rain increases my damage output while I'm standing in it. So if I do normal tongue, I lose tongue in this variation, sorry. If I do Blood Ball, 8%. If I'm in Red Rain and throw it, it's 10%. So you've got a very strong keep away character. I'm now doing 8% instead of 7. But again, it also means that when I normally get 7% back, I believe I get more health? No, I don't. I actually don't. I do more damage to you, but the health I regenerate is the same. Okay, I was wrong about that. But the general point is, you have a very strong projectile-based character, that is doing a lot more damage. Like the percentage you get increased with this means a lot when you're doing constant projectiles in this kind of character, right? This is quick. Like, does not take long to set this up. You know, if you're full screen, you hit a blood ball, that's going to be guaranteed. This is a meterless activation. You do not need to invest anything to do it. But you'll probably be thinking, you know, losing tongue is a big deal because, yes, you know, tongue is a good projectile. It's, you know, breaks a lot of anti-projectile moves. But you also have Crimson Shield, which makes you take less damage. And again, it's another one that you do it, and here you go. I take less now, so she does 140. Now it's going to be wrong button. From 140 to, you know, 119 per hit. That's going to start adding up a lot. So it's easy to add. It's easy to get this. It's easy to get this. You know, if you have them both, you're going to be trading really well with projectiles. Because if they're constantly flinging stuff at you, you're doing more damage with yours and taking less. You're quite annoying. You are very annoying, in fact. You know, you can throw the blood ball while the blood ball's traveling, activate one. While the blood ball's traveling, activate one. You know, you're regenerating. You're being a general pain in the backside. You're activating stuff, but it's not hard to activate it. It really isn't hard to activate it. Now, you also have Red Mist. Red Mist gives you MKX Reptile style aura damage. That this can kill. I believe this damage can kill. It's guaranteed. They're near you. They'll take the damage. But a thing about this move, Red Mist, is if they're in the air, it's a restand. A restand that is, let me see how plus. It is plus 17. And they're on you. So, and that starts up in 15. So in theory, I actually wonder if you could, I haven't tested this. Okay, so I can't imagine that will work. I can't imagine that will work. Let me have a jump just to see, just to show. Okay, so that's not guaranteed. But should you get that damage increase, your dot is doing more damage. You know, if you knock someone down, if you knock someone on the floor, what will be her best way to show this off, I wonder? Into this. You pretty much constantly have a choice, right? You can end any combo in Red Mist to just get this activated. You can end any combo in Red Rain to guarantee the aura while you're on them. Crimson Shield, you can pretty much always have active. You know, this is not hard to turn on. It means that the Scarlet player is constantly in control of how she wants to either buff herself or just annoy the opponent. And this is something that Scarlet doesn't do right now. You know, she has restand, slow blood ball for like neutral control. She has the parry and teleport for kind of like, you know, turn stealing, chaotic kind of like movement. This variation would be a bit more calculated, a bit more methodical, because it's very important, right? This is 3 very important forms of utility that the other variations don't really give. You know, the closest similarity is Red Mist as a restand, whereas you normally get restand from this universally, right? But this restand is a restand that is like giving you aura around you, right? It's giving you more damage around that will kill. It will 100% kill. And I feel like with how a lot of Scarlet players, you know, when you watch the really good Scarlet players, they're interesting to watch because they, you know, they do play quite slow. They do play quite, you know, quite calculated. And I feel like this is really going to help it. Really, really, really going to help it.